Hey, how you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode of Soulja Talk the podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and on this show we discuss military topics with current and prior service members. Today, I will be helping some of my fellow Yankees out there with the turn-in process per regulation. So we're just gonna go through the regulation and learn the proper way to do a turn-in. So it's different ways to do a turn-in. So most people, most supply, most supply sergeants or supply clerks, they go through, they work in G Army and they do they do a PR. So I'm just gonna pull up the regulation. So in chapter 3 of 710-2-1, it shows you the turn-in procedure. So section 3-1 is asking when is property supposed to be turned in. So property is supposed to be turned in when it's an excess, when it's not needed and it's not mandatory, or it becomes unserviceable, or is it found on installation. So most people, they turn in property to the SSA or DLA. But now turn-ins have been done different, where they turn it into MDRS, and then MDRS they turned into DLA, because I think that's a new thing where we don't go straight to DLA now. We go through MDRS. So where property is turned in. So I'm not going to get into the each sections where it says the National Guard turning all property to the USPFO, or is directed by the USPFO. So that's far as the Army National Guard. And I know there's different ways to turn in property from each component. So the forms that's used to turn in, I always thought it was 1348 to turn in, but in the regulation, it says 2765-1, a request for issue or turn in. So it says a DA form 581, which is used for turning for unserviceable and serviceable ammunition. So, and then the 27-65-1 is items to the SSA, or that have no value except their basic content, which is scrap, are disposable at the organizational level and do not require turn-in credit. So then you got found on installation property, excess serviceable items, all other property is not listed above. So to turn in of property, book items, and non-expendable items, it would be a 2765-1. That's what it says in the regulation. But I know a lot of Yankees, they do the 1348. They go in, create the PR. On first, you move it to the commander's hand receipt, and then you create the PR and get with the PBO to make it a PO to approve the PR. So, and then that's when that 1348 is generated, and then you get a document number for that 1348. So in the regulation right here, it says how to fit the completion instructions by block for DA form 2765-1 and request for turn-in. So this is when you return it to the SSA. It's the form that you use. This is what it's saying in the regulation. So I don't know how y'all other Yankees doing it right now. So please leave comments, leave me some type of insight on how y'all do the turn-ins, because everybody, it's supposed to be done one way, but the regulation saying this, and then I haven't done it this way. I haven't used the 2765 to do a turn-in as of yet, but that's what the regulation is saying that you're supposed to do. So then it says 3-5, it says reporting and turn-in of classified communication security material. So then it says 3-6 is telling you how to turn in of expendable and durable supplies, which is also, you have to prepare DA form 2765-1. Then in 3-7 is telling you how to dispose of batteries. Batteries containing lithium, mercury, zinc, silver, chloride, and certain batteries containing lead, acid, and nickel have been designed as hazardous material by the Operational Safety and Health Administration and Environmental Protection Agency. So it says these batteries are potentially dangerous to personnel, equipment, and the environment. That is, lithium batteries can explode and vent poisonous gases if exposed to extreme heat. Although these batteries are categorized as expendable, they have a RC code of alpha and should be turned into the appropriate SSA when no longer usable, even though they may not necessarily be repairable. So that's section 3-7 of 710-2-1. And on 3-8, section 3-8, it says turning of found on installation property, which you usually turn in FOI would be a 2765-1. And it'll also tell you how to fill that 2765-1 out according to found on installation. So in block P of the 2765-1, you would enter the words found on installation. If the item is RIC 2, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Zulu, enter the RIC in the item description block, and the unit UIC in the request is from the block. In the request is from the block. I don't know what that's saying, but yeah. Then you would take the request to the SSA. Do not take property. Okay, so when you turn in installation, you want to take the request to the SSA. Do not take the property to the SSA. The SSA will issue the item to the founding unit. The issue will be free, no billing. Complete the document register. Property book items received or reported as found on installation will be posted to the property book within 7 calendar days for active duty. So that's how long the process is supposed to take. 7 calendar days after you take the request to the SSA. And it says turn in of temporary loan material. You will also temporary loan are owned by the SSA that has issued the item. Okay, it remains on SSA accountable records. Temporary loan, therefore, must always be turned into the SSA. Okay. Turning of returnable containers. There are 2 types of returnable containers: vendor-owned containers and government-owned containers. These are containers with NSN, such as drums or cylinders. You will use the 2765-1 to turn in vendor-owned containers, and it will be assigned a new document number. Then 3-11 says return of discrepant shipments. There are 2 types of discrepant shipments. There are items that were requested and items having hidden defects. Okay, so return of discrepant shipment. So if something comes in and it's tore up or it's broken, you can turn them items back in. Return of property issue to DA to support DA approved emergency requirements. Okay, so property issue to support DA approved emergency requirements will be turned in when the emergency is over. This includes property rented or leased. Turning of parachutes and components is in section 3-13. Turning information management processing equipment items. 3-14, when the Software Management Support Department, formerly Defense Automation Resources Information Center, instructs disposition of information management processing equipment. The PBO will complete DD Form 1348 and turn in the item directly to the servicing DLADS. A copy of the disposition instructions from SMSD will accompany turn-in documents. Yeah, so that's something I never did before. 3-15, return of items to service supply center. 3-16, product quality deficient reports exhibit return program. Units will use product quality deficiency reports to report equipment component failures. These reports are the method of officially documenting unexpected failure, unexpected wear, or impact of mission failure attributed to a specific component quality or lack of detail in manufacturing of the part. So that's basically the quality of the shipment. So I kind of briefly went through chapter 3 of 710-2-1, which is the disposition of property, the turn-in procedures. So if you want to, it's a short section. So if you want to look at the proper way in the regulation to do a turn-in, you will follow these steps, which in chapter 3. So I know it's simple. It's a simple process, but it's a lot to it. So other Yankees out there who are doing turn-ins, you want to just make sure you doing it per regulation, making sure you're doing it the right way. So I know I have always did it where I just create the pre-R in G Army, first moved it to the commander's hand receipt, then create the PR, and then go to the PBO so they can approve that PR. They stamp it, and then you turn it in to whoever you have to turn it into. Because I only did turn-ins where I just go to DLA and turn in that. But it's certain things when you turn it in, it's always different requirements when you turn in different type of equipment. So when you turn in weapons or something like that, you want to make sure you have the maintenance records. You want to make sure you have the service records to those weapons, or you want to, when you turn in computers, you want to make sure you clear the hard drive from S6. You're gonna have the S6. I think it's a 2500 form 2500 to make sure they had cleared them computers of the hard drives before you turn them in. Then the SSA was stamp. I mean, not the SSA, but PBO. They'll stamp the 1348. That way you can turn it into DLA, and then you gonna have to take multiple copies with you to DLA, so they can because they gonna need their copies as well, and then they stamp it, and then once they get you get the stamp from DLA, you bring it back to PBO, and they take it off the property book. So that's how I always have done. That's the only type of way I have done a turn in. Other Yankees, please leave your insights and leave your experiences from other turn-ins as you have did, so we all can learn together. And this has been and before I get off here, I just want y'all to please like the video, support the content. Please follow the Instagram at the bottom of the screen. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know down in the comments what else type of videos you guys would want to see. And this has been another episode of Soulja Talk the Podcast. I'm your host, Staff Sergeant McPherson, and I will see you guys in formation.